Rock bottom doesn't feel like failure. It feels like suffocation. It feels like waking up with a weight on your chest, like trying your best and still falling short, like watching everyone move forward while you stay stuck. He didn't plan to hit rock bottom. One mistake, one rejection, one moment of doubt, and suddenly, everything collapsed. But here's what nobody tells you. Rock bottom isn't where stories end. It's where warriors are built. This is not a story about success. This is a story about what happens when someone decides they've had enough of losing, and what he did next changed everything. This section introduces the main character at a normal stage of life, someone with dreams, goals, and ambition. He believes in himself and is working toward something meaningful. The audience should relate to him here. Then comes the setback. It could be a failed exam, rejected job application, business loss, breakup, or public embarrassment. Something important collapses. The key focus is emotional impact. His confidence cracks. Doubt enters his mind. He starts questioning his worth. The moment isn't just failure, it's identity shaking. This section ends by showing how that single failure begins pulling him toward rock bottom. This section dives deep into the emotional collapse after failure. Now, he's not just disappointed. He's mentally exhausted. He starts overthinking everything, sleepless nights, comparing himself to others, scrolling social media, and feeling behind in life. He isolates himself, avoids friends, avoids responsibilities, avoids conversations about his future. The most important part here is emotional realism. He slowly starts believing the lie. Maybe this is who I am. Maybe I'm just average. This section should feel heavy, and relatable. It ends with a subtle hint of change coming, a tiny moment that will spark the turning point. This is the emotional shift. Nothing magical happens. No one rescues him. Instead, something small triggers awareness. Maybe a sentence he reads, a memory from childhood, or a moment where he looks in the mirror and doesn't recognize himself anymore. He realizes a powerful truth. No one is coming to save me. Pain turns into frustration. Frustration turns into clarity. Clarity turns into a decision. He doesn't suddenly feel confident. He feels tired of losing. And that's the key. He chooses responsibility over excuses. This section ends with one small decision that begins everything. Section shows that transformation doesn't begin with something dramatic. It starts small. After making the decision to change, he takes one simple action. He wakes up earlier, goes for a short walk, reads a few pages, cleans his room, turns off distractions. It feels insignificant. No one applauds. No instant results appear. But internally, something shifts. For the first time in a long time, he moves forward instead of staying stuck. The focus here is momentum, not motivation. This section should show that real change starts quietly, not loudly. It ends by hinting that starting was easy compared to staying consistent. This section focuses on the internal battle. After starting small habits, the real enemy appears, his own mind. Negative thoughts return. You'll quit again. You always fail. This won't change anything. Doubt becomes louder when progress is slow. He feels tired. He feels tempted to go back to old habits. Comfort tries to pull him backward. This is where most people give up. But he remembers how painful rock bottom felt. And he makes a new choice. Discipline over motivation. Section builds tension by showing that growth isn't external. It's psychological. Warfare. It ends by showing he doesn't silence doubt. He moves forward despite it. This section shows the reality of growth. It's slow and almost invisible. There's no dramatic transformation. No overnight success. Just small improvements. He becomes a little more focused, a little more disciplined, a little more emotionally stable. The world doesn't notice yet. Friends don't suddenly respect him. Results aren't big enough to impress anyone, but internally, he feels different, stronger, clearer, more in control. The key message here: progress doesn't need applause to be powerful. This section ends by hinting that eventually, someone will notice the change. But the real transformation is happening inside. This section shows when the outside world finally begins to notice his transformation. People start saying, "You look different, you seem more confident. What changed?" But the change isn't loud. He's not showing off. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's calmer, more grounded, less reactive. His energy feels stronger not because he talks more, but because he doubts less. This section highlights a powerful truth. When you change internally, the world eventually adjusts to you. It ends by revealing that the biggest transformation isn't physical or social, it's mental and emotional strength. This is where he truly becomes different, not because he achieved success yet, but because fear no longer controls him. He stops being afraid of failure. He understands that pain is part of growth. Setbacks are feedback. Rejection is redirection. His mindset shifts from, "What if I fail?" to, "What can I learn?" He becomes emotionally stable, calm, under pressure, focused. Under stress. This is the moment he becomes unstoppable internally. Section ends by introducing a new challenge, the same type that once broke him, but this time, he's ready. This section brings the story's emotional climax. The boy faces the same type of challenge that once destroyed his confidence. It could be a presentation, competition, exam, or important life opportunity. This time, the situation creates tension because the audience is curious whether he will fail again or succeed. His reaction is different now. He stays calm. He prepares. Properly, he doesn't panic. Winning is not the main focus. The real victory is that he is no longer controlled by fear whether he wins or loses. He knows he has already grown, stronger than his past self. This section builds suspense. Before the final message, this is the story's emotional and motivational closing. The boy realizes that rock bottom was not punishment, it was preparation. Failure taught him discipline, patience, and mental strength. He understands that success alone doesn't build character, but struggle does. The main message is directed toward the audience. If you are at rock bottom, don't panic. Don't use that moment to rebuild yourself. The story ends with an emotional line, encouraging viewers to believe in their ability to rise again. The tone should feel hopeful, powerful, and inspirational, leaving the audience motivated and emotionally satisfied.